Welcome to Great Community Give 101 or GCG 101 for short. I am Lauren Jefferson, Director of Programs and Marketing at the Community Foundation. This is a quick overview of what we're going to cover today. So I'm hopeful that this 30 to 40-minute presentation will give you a bit more information about the event and help you feel a little bit more prepared for it. The Community Foundation is the host of this event. We manage about 329 funds and about $89.9 million in assets. We have given back $82.6 million to the community, and the Great Community Give is one of our initiatives among many other programs. So we are a 501c3, just like your nonprofit is, working with all the nonprofits in Harrisonburg and Rockingham County, working with donors and professional advisors and making it as easy as possible to give back to the community. So the Great Community Give started in 2018, and as one of the initiatives here, my position is funded part-time to work on some of these programs, including administration for the Great Community Give. We also sponsor the platform, and you're going to hear me say to speak about Bonterra and GiveGab, and they're basically interchangeable. Bonterra is the larger company, and GiveGab is the platform. So we do purchase a annual subscription for that platform, which then allows us to use the secure giving and the website components that are so valuable, as well as the tech support on the day. And I'll talk a little bit more about the importance of that too, to have that help behind us as we embark on this pretty major endeavor. A brief overview of Great Community Give. Like I said, it's in its 8th year. It is one day of fundraising. There's a little caveat there that I'll come back to. For all of our local nonprofit organizations. So the requirement is 501c3 located in or serving Harrisonburg and Rockingham County. We wanted this event to promote awareness about community needs and opportunities to support nonprofits, for an opportunity for them to share more about the impact that they have in this area. A fundraiser to help gain and grow your resources and connect you to your supporters. So this event on April 16th and in the weeks coming up to April 16th is just a great opportunity for nonprofits to share their story, communicate their vision, and spread their reach to donors, current donors, but then also prospective donors to sort of widen the knowledge about what they're doing in the community. The 10,000-foot view is that this event also unifies our community. So it's just a really exciting day of people learning and sharing and giving. And the spirit of philanthropy is really strong and in this community. And it's just a huge celebration of the generosity that really has enabled this event to grow. In the last 7 years, there's been a total of $9.2 million that has gone back into the community thanks to generous donors. We have had a huge increase from the first year in the number of donors and the number of gifts and the annual dollars raised. So the initial goal the first year was to raise $75,000. And $400,000 was raised. So each year this event has been more and more of a success. That's thanks to the hard work of my predecessor, Amanda Baumfum, and a really stellar group of committee members and volunteers who have really steered this event forward. And I am certainly standing in their footsteps and as in this kind of this new era. So very excited to continue working on this and hopefully see it grow. That money has gone back into funding about 150 local nonprofits. Last year, we had 157 nonprofits registered. A few stats in addition to that 157. Last year, $2.2 million was raised from about 7,600 donors. We had an amazing sponsorship prize pool of $76,000 that contributed to some extra awards and extra cash for nonprofits. So that was contributed by 48 individuals, businesses, and or corporate sponsors, who many of whom have been with this event since the beginning and have really seen the value in donating to it to sponsor all of our nonprofits. Rather than just one or two, their contribution, as I said, goes straight into the prize pool and helps leverage donations throughout the day. So, really exciting opportunity to for those dollars to compound and exponentially increase and help all of the nonprofit participants that we have. So 29 nonprofits last year took home extra cash prizes on top of their fundraising and initial fundraising that they did. We'll talk more about the cash prizes and how that works. A little bit more of a recap. We had 4 organizations that raised over $100,000. Our organizations that participate last year were divided into 2 categories so that there was equitable competition in those for those cash prizes. They were determined by the amount of revenue and basically fundraising capacity. This year, we're hoping to have 3 categories, and again, I'll talk more about that. But I just wanted to mention, three large organizations. So last year, that was over $500,000 in revenue, and 1 small organization, so under $500,000 in revenue, were able to raise $100,000. We also had 12 organizations that raised less than $500. So the point of this information is to show you kind of the range of potential for this event, and to say that if you'd like to put in a good amount of effort, there's a good chance that you'll have some dividends from that effort. There is a benefit to simply participating, and I'll talk about that as well. Our 2025 goals are to raise hopefully $2 million again. We would love to surpass the $10 million mark by 10 a.m. So last year, one of the benefits of this platform that we use are some just amazing analytics related to our donations and patterns. And last year, we reached $800,000 by 10 a.m. If we do that again, we will have reached $10 million cumulatively over the 8 years of this event by 10 a.m. So I'm hopeful, we'll hit 10 by 10, which would be really fun. And then obviously we're hoping to raise over $1 million total. We'd like to grow our total donors, and we'd like to grow our new donors. So as our donors go through the process of giving, they can self-identify as new donors. Last year and the year before, we had about 2,200 new donors, and I'd like to see that grow. One of the wonderful things about this event is that your work in helping to spread the word out into new audiences could potentially bring in new audiences to this event too. So I think that's one of the really special things, is that all of our work helps to forward the greater cause of philanthropy and support of nonprofits in this area, which inspires giving. So lots of goals for this upcoming event on April 16th. And we know the philanthropic landscape has changed a little bit recently, but we're still hopeful that we can exceed that goal. So how does fundraising happen? There are three ways. I'm just going to break them down really quickly and I'll come back and talk a little bit more about each of these. Your organization's profile is extremely valuable. That's what I mentioned as you've already taken the first step in registering. Now you're going to put in a little bit more work to create a landing page, and you could potentially just let that landing page sit there. And I do believe you would have some donors come to you. If you want to be more proactive and you've got some energy and some resources and you're ready to commit, your organization's communications will help to further the information out there about what your plans are for this day, what your goals are, your vision, and really excite your donors about giving on the day. Then finally, fundraising can happen also through a competition for prizes in that prize pool that we talked about earlier. So let's go back to your organization's profile. As I mentioned, you have access, now that you've registered and been approved, you have access to a dashboard, which will break down this pretty easy to use template. You can post photos, you can create donation levels, you can put in your social media links, add videos, photo, and text to your webpage. So just wanted to share another example. These are both obviously working in the field of animals, but you can kind of see there's some small variations in these landing pages, but this is what you'll push out to your donors with a unique URL. If you create, or when you create this profile, what it does is provide a place for donors to come and learn more about your organization in a really quick, definitive way. So there's a search bar on the main webpage, the greatcommunitygive.org homepage. There's a search bar in the upper right-hand corner, and you can put in a cause that you're passionate about, and that will pull up organizations that are working in that field, and then folks can search and find an organization that they might want to support. So this website is live now, and these profiles are viewable now. So when I say that there's a minimal amount of work that you can do that may lead to a donation, this is what I'm talking about. I do believe there are donors who hear about this event, come to the website looking to find an organization to support that they may not know about, or perhaps they come expressly with the goal of wanting to support an organization that they don't know about. So, a potential donor, a donor who may become something more of a supporter down the road. Just lots of potential for folks exploring causes and organizations in this area, landing on your webpage and taking a look around and deciding to give some money on that day. This is the dashboard. I just wanted to give you a brief kind of photo of the dashboard with some of the basics there about how to add your information, your story. This is also where you would go to do your bank verification. Most of our organizations who have signed up are verified already. So I'll be in touch with you if that hasn't happened yet. You can add donation levels there and a thank you message. A second part of the dashboard going down a little bit further includes adding to offline donations there in the upper left-hand corner. I'll talk a little bit more about that. Get prepared in the lower left-hand corner is a lot of resources. And then to the right is the unique URL that you can use to share this landing page on social media. A note for you related to those donation levels. Sometimes donors look at these pieces of information and correlate their donation specifically with the information you've provided. So for example, using this here, if I give $50, I think I might be donating to a dog bed, but perhaps that money is going to be used for something else. So one of the things that we urge you to do is to have some language in your on your webpage about funds being unrestricted, unless they aren't, right? Unless you're um, fundraising for a specific project and the money is really going to go to that specific item that you've listed there or that service that you've listed there. So we would urge you, if it's the case you're collecting donations and these are examples, to make sure that that is stated in this section or in the text below. As far as communications go, we have a huge reach with our media partners. These are some of the folks who have been sponsors in the past, and some have come back this year. Harrisonburg Media Group is a platinum sponsor, the Daily News Record, and has come on again, as well as Appeal Productions. We have wonderful, wonderful media sponsors who help us promote this event. So you don't need to promote the event, you need to promote your participation in the event. So this is great because you can then focus really on sharing your story and your impact in the community rather than worrying about sharing, making sure folks know about April 16th. Your goal is to share that on April 16th, your organization is participating and your organization is fundraising for these particular purposes. So a few ideas about what you might be communicating. Early giving begins April 2nd to 15th. And I will talk a little bit more about that in just a second. You would, of course, want to share about the day itself, April 16th. So the website is up and running and folks can look around at organizations. They can find your landing page now. April 16th is when they can give online. And that's the one day when that capability is open and available. You might want to share about your impact, your fundraising needs, testimonials, a match or a challenge. So like I said, GiveGab is a company that does giving days around the country. They have a group of experts that are ready to help. And there's webinars and good information about how to ask for matches or challenges and how to optimize that as a fundraising strategy. So definitely make use of that. You're going to hear me say that throughout this presentation, to really take advantage of the resources that are available to you through our partnership with GiveGab. And that last bullet point, are you trying to win a Power Hour cash prize? So how are you participating in our contests and what would you like folks to do? How am I communicating? This is really up to you and the strategies that you've used successfully in the past. You may want to take this chance to develop some new strategies. I just wanted to point to two here. Social media is a great way to keep up a steady drumbeat of information and keep reminding your listeners, your audience, about what's going on with this event. You can use this as an opportunity to grow your audience as well if you don't have much of a social media presence. There are graphics and tips online in the nonprofit toolkit area that would be really helpful for you. The other point I wanted to emphasize here was the PSAs on the radio. There are several radio stations. Harrisonburg Media Group is one, which will help you as a community service, will help you prepare and record a 30-second PSA. So remember, we're promoting this event, and then there's general knowledge in the community about it. Folks don't necessarily know your organization, what your organization does, and why your organization needs funds, what their donation will help you do. So those are all things that you can think about putting into your communication about this event. This is a really great opportunity, like I said, to consider new approaches, not just to your messaging and how you're getting the information out, but new approaches to your fundraising. And there's just a few here. We've already talked about a few of them. But remember, most of these are supported with resources through the GiveGap site. So graphic design is, they've got some designs available. Like I said, there's webinars for matches and challenges. Peer-to-peer fundraisers are ways to include people who are interested in fundraising for your organization. And you can link them to your website and they can be recognized as fundraisers on the website. And that's a neat way to develop some new relationships or to build relationships with folks who are already established within your organization. Now, I just wanted to go back to this graphic here and point out this one day of fundraising. As I mentioned, it's not exactly one day. Just to be clear, there is an early giving phase, which starts April 2nd at midnight and ends April 15th at, actually, I'm sorry, that should be April 16th at 6 a.m. Early giving is a phase that makes it easy for everybody to give. And our rationale for this really was that not everybody's around that day or is ready to give that day or perhaps remembers to give. So we wanted to widen the phase of giving. We also understand not everybody likes to use online platforms. So we wanted to offer another option during early giving and during that day, April 16th. Donors can make gifts of cash, direct deposit, or check during this phase. So we limit credit card gifts to April 16th on that with our online giving platform, right? So folks can give cash, direct deposit, or check during the early giving phase. They can also give those ways during the April 16th giving day. That day is the one day when the online platform is open and credit cards can be used. So if we allowed you and other organizations to collect credit card gifts during early giving or that day, we're really undermining the use of the platform on the giving day itself. So that's really the reason for that restriction. Those gifts can be delivered or should be delivered to you, not to us. Unfortunately, we don't have the staff to help with that kind of processing for 150 nonprofits. So you need to be telling donors of their giving options, cash, direct deposit, or check, brought to your office or mailed to your office. If you would like those totals to count towards our leaderboard prize, and I'll talk about the leaderboard prize in just a minute, all of those gifts should be logged on the website the day that you receive them. So the website is live. Some aspects of the website are live. You will be able to log those gifts in a dashboard. I'll show you a picture of this. You can add offline donations here, and to the right is the information you need to collect with the offline donations. You can log those. You won't be able to see them. The public will not be able to see them. You will be able to see them on your dashboard. And those gifts will go into your totals on the leaderboard. So the other way that fundraising happens is through prizes. And last year and in previous years, we put nonprofits into two categories based on their revenue and their fundraising capabilities. So this year we'd like to, our plan is we got some feedback that 3 size categories would be better. So that's our plan. We're going to announce that in March, along with the prizes that we're able to offer. The reason why we're waiting till March, I know some people would like to hear about this sooner. We're still collecting donations. So we're hoping to raise $76,000, which would allow us to change the prizes this year and to do those 3 different prize categories. But we will announce these prizes as soon as we know how much money we've raised and how much money we can offer as for each of the different categories. So the leaderboard is has most dollars raised and most unique donors on it on the homepage during that day. So that's one of the most exciting things about that day is you get to see this ticker clicking over with dollars and donors. And your totals of donations received beginning April 2nd all the way to April 16th contribute to your totals of most dollars raised and most unique donors. So donations, any donations coming in via cash or check or online are, if you've logged them via cash or check or online, they're automatically tallied into the platform, and the cumulatives are part of this leaderboard contest. So we hope to have 3 categories. You can see we would offer either first or second place or first, second, and third place in the small, the medium, and the large categories for most dollars raised and most unique donors. So we will have that solidified in March, and that will be part of the announcement that we make. There are also hourly prizes called power hours. So from 6 to 7 and 7 to 8 and throughout the day, most dollars raised or most unique donors. And this alternates every other hour. And that tally is related only to the online gifts during hours. So you may, once you see the prize categories, or I'm sorry, the prize list, you may choose one of those that you want to select to go after. And you may want to funnel your donors into, say, for example, give during the 11 o'clock hour because we're going to try to win that prize. The other prize is the golden ticket, and that is to benefit organizations that may not be as competitive in the power hours. That's very simply a random drawing of an organization that's had a donation during that hour. We're also going to offer, as we have in the past, a random drawing for early bird registrants. So those were folks who were registered in the first month of when registration was open. As it's noted here, that's awarded the week after GCG. The Power Hour and Golden Ticket prizes are awarded during that day. And the leaderboard prize, we know who won it, but we will actually be awarding that prize the next day. There may be other prizes. It just depends on how much money we raise. So before the event, I do have an email list I'm sending out every other week, some information about the event. Sometimes it's reminders or tips that will increase as we get closer to April 16th. So just make sure you're reading those emails. Complete your profile but that means a logo, a photo, some text, just some basics there. And also bank verification. Those 2 things need to be completed. Use the available resources. To the right, there's a screenshot of the nonprofit toolkit, which is just a fantastic resource. Noting number 2, next steps, and number 3, spread the word. You'll see some information about how to work with your peer-to-peer fundraisers. that communication guide in the middle with the clipboard icon is just a great resource. They've broken it down into months before, weeks before, days before, 2 days before, day of. It really gives you a comprehensive guide and a way of thinking about your communications. The graphics and downloads, this says coming soon, but those are now available. And then under that, number 4, actually, it's not shown, are some social media tips and tricks and templates. So when I say use the available resources and tools, this is what I'm talking about. This website is really good. The support function for GiveGab is excellent. And they'll answer questions they do not have a phone line, so everything is done via chat, which I know is frustrating to some people, but they have video webinars. They've got articles step by step with screenshots. Just, like I said, they're experts and they're willing to help you. So I did reach out to some organizations that were successful last year just to collect a few kind of best practices. One suggestion was to create a timeline and a communications plan with graphics and messaging ready so that you've thought this through beforehand. You could work with volunteers, perhaps, or staff who are willing to help you with this piece of your plan. The more you can do ahead of the day, the more you're going to make it a successful day for you, and less stressful too. I do know sometimes donors are calling with quick questions or issues, and you really need to be available for handling things like that. So having a plan for your communications is. This one organization mentioned that using those available graphics was really helpful. This is a real opportunity to think about some of the stories that quickly and decisively, succinctly share the impact of your organization. So if you have photos and testimonials ready, those are things that are going to help people understand what your work is about. Don't expect that people will be online during early giving or the day of the event. So make sure you are reminding folks about this event and the opportunity, and you're really clear about what your goals are and what you want to happen during each of these phases. Always include the link. The one person I spoke to about this mentioned, people sometimes can't find the link. So it's always really good to supply that URL, or at least the greatcommunitygive.org webpage. Let the organization's GCG profile do the work, right? That's your marketing tool. So don't replicate it on your website, because that doesn't help get donors to the landing page, which is what you want them to do. Let that page speak for you that day and in that early giving phase. And then don't assume people are tech savvy. So, be clear with your instructions and be ready to answer some questions if need be. Certainly I'm doing that here in this office as well. So important dates looking ahead. March 14th, your profile needs to be completed. Like I said, that's pretty basic. You need a header, a logo, some photos, some text, and you're ready to go. And you can fine tune that. You can add more to it if you want to, but that's the basics. March 17th, bank verification needs to be finished. Most of our organizations who have registered already have completed this step, but it does take a little bit of time. So that March 17th deadline is leaving plenty of weeks for us to deal with any problems that may come up, if there are any. March 25th, I'm going to present an Are You Ready webinar. And then April 2nd, early giving begins. So It's coming quickly. On the day, I will mention this in an email, but I will need a representative who is available in the event of a prize. One of the really fun things we do here at the office, where it is GCG headquarters, is we have an oversized check and we do wonderful check presentations where you and members of your staff or volunteers or folks who've been impacted by your organization are welcome to come with you. If you did win a prize, they're welcome to come with you to visit us, even if you haven't won a prize. We'd love to see you down here. But we do a check presentation with us, and you'll have a chance to meet a sponsor and thank them. And that I will need to have somebody available that day who can take a phone call and be able to help us work on that photo opportunity. Resources for issues. I'll, of course, send you back to that blue chat button, but I will have some FAQs ready for that day. So you will need to look in that email to make sure that you have those available. Make sure you plan your promotions ahead of time. And like I said, visit us. We'd love to see you come down here and meet us and take some pictures and enjoy the fun. The donations will be deposited into your bank account within 5 to 7 days. One of the really fabulous aspects of this platform is the analytics that are available and the automation aspect of this. So donors receive a receipt. You do not need to receipt your donors. That is part of what we're paying for with this platform, is that capability. And you'll also be able to print a report of your donations. And then, of course, gratitude. Thank them for their support. So just circling back, here's those important dates coming up, and I am always available via email. I'm happy to set up a phone call if you have any questions, and I'm looking forward to working with you.